afternoon. I'm Marty Senterfitt, creator of NIMS Logic software. And recently in a conversation I was asked, the NIMS Logic software, who needs it? Well, obviously we think about emergency management and large disasters. And of course, being a firefighter, I always think first that this is a fire department tool. But in reality, I think it really is needed by law enforcement. Let me explain. I am really blessed in the fact that most of my family are in law enforcement. And as I've talked to them and worked with them over the years, I've discovered that law enforcement has more incidents that turn into multi-day events than really the fire department ever does. I mean, let's take a common call that law enforcement deals with day to day, that of the missing person. I had the opportunity to work with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office side by side years ago for several missing person cases. And what I realized is that event goes from days to weeks and sometimes even months. And every day, law enforcement and all their partners are working so hard to solve the case. But let's think about it from a NIMS Logic perspective. Every day, NIMS Logic will track what resources do you have on the scene? How are they subdivided? What are the divisions and groups? What are the objectives for each of those teams? And then as you look forward and you start setting up operational objectives for the next operational period, you have a clear, very concise path to follow to make sure you're doing all you can do to find that missing person. Let's say you've unfortunately gone into it and you're now weeks into this event. You have a very clear, very concise documented history of all that you've done, all of your objectives, all of your findings, all of the resources that have been used. And now you can come back and take a second or third look to reevaluate and ask yourself, is there anything else we can do? Also, while this is occurring, NIMS Logic is tracking things like logistical use, day-to-day cost, the amount of effort and energy that is put into this search, so that when the event is closed, it is very clear and very obvious to everybody just how hard law enforcement worked in this case. So I would challenge that when you look at NIMS Logic, you look at the National Incident Management System, you will find that it is a product desperately needed within law enforcement.